Welcome to episode 93 of the Guardian 1 podcast. We record live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian 1 Network. My name is Remy, and tonight I'm joined by CrimZon Warlock.
Hey, it's good to be back, everybody.
Jez.
Good morning.
Agrios.
Greetings, Guardians.
Sharks.
I bought my hunter, have you?
And Gray.
Good evening, everyone.
We are going to be talking about all things Destiny, but first, housekeeping.
Hello, Guardians. Thank you for listening in on the podcast, however it is that you are choosing to listen. Be sure to follow Guardian 1 on Twitter, at G1Net. That's G, the number 1, N-E-T. In addition, be sure to check out the Guardian 1 website at guardian1.net. If you want to send us an email, you can send it to feedback@guardian1.net. If you do a search on Bungie.net for Guardian 1, you'll find our forums group, which we also use for both comments and feedback. Big thank you to all those currently in the Twitch chat. As Remy said at the top of the podcast, you can watch the show live at twitch.tv/Guardian1Network. We broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. If you can't catch the show live, you can always search for the Guardian 1 podcast on iTunes, as well as the Guardian 1 YouTube channel at youtube.com/Guardian1Network. Guardian 1 is a proud member of the Guardian Radio Network, so be sure to check out the Guardian Radio Network website at theguardiansofdestiny.com. There you'll find all the different podcasts as part of the network, including the flagship podcast, Guardian Radio. They broadcast every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. You can also follow their Twitter account at GuardiansofD and their YouTube channel, youtube.com/GuardiansofD. Other podcasts that are part of the Guardian Radio Network include previous episodes of TTL Party Chat and Robust Radio. There's also a podcast called Ghost and Echoes, which contains a bit of fan fiction and audio versions of the Grimoire cards found within Destiny. That's it for housekeeping. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much, Hollow River. In addition to those podcasts he listed, the Guardian Radio Network just added the Focus Fire Chat podcast to the list of those among us, and so that's really great. Those guys are the real hero. Like if there's one group in the community that I am aware of that's really really kicking it in the ass, is these people on Focus Fire. I received a passive invitation to their Discord chat, and when I got there, I kid you not, this place was crawling with lore for everything. Like these people are, like in my mind, they are like night and day, like just going through pages and pages of information and double checking and really itemizing these things. Like it's really fantastic what they do. It's a great podcast. You guys should really check it out. I would like to have, basically everybody from that podcast over here eventually. And so I'm going to reach out to them and see if any of them are interested in hanging out here and telling us a little bit more about what they do, because I don't know, if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you really love Destiny, and if you really love Destiny, this is definitely something you need to look into. So exciting news there. Okay, let's get right to it. The Gjallarwing. Holy crap, Gjallarwing. Like I didn't think it was real when that website published that image. It just seemed ridiculous. Like it's very, I don't know. Like Bungie's always talking about how they want these things to fit into this world, and I feel like the Gjallarwing is absolutely 100% ridiculous. And that's not to say that I don't think it's cool, because I do think it's cool, but I can't believe that it's a real thing. I can't believe that I'm just going to get it because it's part of this pre-order that I'm definitely going to be a part of. But it's cool. I think I am going to rock it. I think I am going to drive it around. I don't know that I want to use the iron version, though. I kind of feel like the iron version is not as good looking as the regular one. Like I think that all silver and black is cool looking, but with the gold on it, it really brings the silver and black out. It really makes the silver and black pop. So I'm going to ask each of you here, Gray, Can you believe that this is a real thing? I mean, I know you saw those images of that Gjallarwing too. And can you believe it's a real thing? Do you think it looks cool? Which one do you think looks better? And will you drive it around?
So I'm going to cut in before he talks. Ha, I gotcha. Just note, the Iron Gjallarwing is the one you get for pre-ordering, not the normal one.
Totally.
So you got to buy the normal one for real monies.
Yeah, real monies. I wonder if it's just going to be a standalone thing. I know that Deej said it will be available from the Eververse trading universe, or the Eververse trading, whatever. It will. Okay, so what? How much do you think it'll be, Jez? Are we looking at $2? Are we looking at $5? Is it going to be part of a larger selection that you will randomly get it from?
Be from not a kit, but it's going to be from some grab bag where it's the prize.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know where I think it's gonna be?
Those things you really like?
What is it, Agrios?
It's gonna come with the new selection of sparrows when the new SRL premieres with the Rise of Iron.
That's what I was thinking too. Actually, I was actually looking through the footage to see if I could see any gates, like if maybe they were showing us scenes from the new SRL. But I was thinking that too, like that would be really cool. And they mentioned that it has been since December. December was when the SRL was, and that's a long time ago. Like, I don't know.
I have a theory on that. Since we're talking about it here, I think that I think they wanted to go back to it, but like a lot of people had we need more maps complaint and such. And up until Rise of Iron, they had to parody everything on last gen. I'm wondering with the size of the maps required, how much had to be loaded for the Sparrow maps for the speed that they're moving and such. If those two maps alone were pushing it for last gen for the extra content they could fit for that, selection.
Yeah. And
if, Rise of Iron's going to come out, they're going to lose that limitation, and it's going to come back with 6 maps, 7 maps maybe. 7, I like 7. Let's go for 7 maps.
I don't know. I think that's crazy. I think if we're lucky, we'd get 4 maps. Although I tell you what, the way that they have that book laid out, it makes me think like maybe there will only be 2 of those things. Like they seem to be interested in books that have 2 pages in them. So I don't know. I'm with you in hoping that that's what ends up happening. But I don't have any hope for that.
I'm hoping for a map, a racing map, and at least 1 in every planetary location, and then 2 in a couple of them. Like they already had 1 on Mars and Venus, so obviously those ones will each get a new one, in my mind or whatever. So there you go. That's what I'm hoping for.
That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm very much interested in the return of SRL. You know what? Let's get back to this because I want to know more about how long do you think it'll be? Like, was 3 weeks long enough? These kinds of things. But I want to get back to this Gjallarwing before we move forward. So Gray, are you interested in this Gjallarwing? Can you believe that it's a real thing? Are you going to drive it around? And which one do you like better?
I can't believe that it's a real thing. I was really surprised that it wasn't just some joke. And it's kind of cool, but it isn't something that I think is, I wasn't yearning for a Gjallarhorn themed sparrow by any means. I like the black one better, but actually my favorite one, I'm actually going to put it up here on the screen, is the one that during the stream they said was like the Harley Davidson version of the Sparrow. So what I love about this is I'm a racing fan. I've got motorsports in my blood.
Oh yeah.
I love the header pipes coming off of this Sparrow and the blend of like futuristic themes with current automotive themes. I mean, the thing's got like a radiator. It's got header pipes. It's got shocks on it. Do our Sparrows have shocks on them right now? This is the Sparrow that I'd want to have. I would pay money to have this kind of a Sparrow. I think it looks so cool.
I agree. I definitely agree. That looks really cool. It looks really blunt. It looks very powerful. I agree.
But yeah, to answer your question, I think that they're going to be at about $5 is what they're going to charge for the regular version. Since they're throwing it in for free, I'm happy with that. I thought it was interesting that when they talked about this on the stream, they prefaced it by saying we were looking at the lists of sparrows coming out, which means that there's other sparrows that they're working on. There's other ones that are going to be released. And that little statement that they said in the stream makes me think more than anything else that we're going to have a much bigger revamped version of Sparrow Racing League.
Okay, so I didn't hear him say coming out. I heard him say we were looking at the list of sparrows, as in I took it to mean that they were looking at like a list of sparrows that somebody somewhere said they would like to have. So do you have that part of the video? Do you know which part of the video that is? Because
yeah,
I would really be interested in hearing his exact wording. Because if he said coming out, that's huge. That's really huge. But I did not hear that. Why don't you pull that up, and I will go to Sharks. Sharks, can you believe that this is a real thing? Which one do you like better? Will you drive it around? And holy crap, it's real.
Yeah, I thought it was real when they first posted it. There, a lot of people were wondering what's going on. They said, "Oh, it's looks like they cut off pieces." But yeah, I think it was just they were editing it to not show any of the background stuff, and they did a really poor job. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really that surprised that it's there. I'm surprised that they waited this long. What's the point in waiting when you're already releasing stuff for pre-orders? You might as well add that in right away too, unless they decided to change and add it to pre-orders since somebody fucked up. But I doubt it, since that site, that company, I can't remember where it was at, Netherlands or wherever it was, had said it was part of a pre-order anyway. So no, I'm not really that surprised. Which one will I rock? Neither. Everybody's going to have it. Everybody's going to be rocking it, so it's not that special. I think that they're cool looking. Don't get me wrong. I actually think that the one that looks like the original Gjallarhorn, the white and gold, is the cooler of the two. Will I ride it? Maybe a couple times, but I'll probably go back to my default Sparrow in the end.
What is your default Sparrow?
Volta class Sparrow.
Got it. Let's see. You got that up, Gray, or no? He's still looking. Agrios, can you believe this is a real thing? Which one do you like better, and will you sport it?
Yeah, I'm not particularly surprised. I don't think, like, I agree with you. I like, if somebody just told me, like, there's just rumor, I would definitely have been doubtful of it, just because I don't know, it's almost like predictable, kind of. I'm not sure. But like, I don't think it falls so far out of lore that it's unusable. Like, you figure there's got to be a bunch of scrap parts left around from Gjallarhorns that didn't quite make it, since they're putting all these together from parts that are on the battlefield already to begin with. So
yeah,
that's where that all comes from. I probably won't rock it because, like Shark said, everybody's gonna have one. As far as which one I liked better, I haven't super closely examined them, but I mean, generally I like the black things better and whatnot, so I probably would prefer the darker one. I'm certainly not going to pay any real money intentionally for the other one, because I'm not really into spending money on cosmetics for a game like that and whatnot.
I see what you're saying. There was something that came out as a pre-order, and I wasn't interested in it, and I thought that everyone was going to be using it, and I was really surprised when I found that nobody was using it. So it could definitely be that everybody will be riding one of these things, but I don't know. I still see Guardians out in the wild that don't even have SRL sparrows. I have not even gone back to a pre-SRL Sparrow. Like I basically use only the arc Sparrow just because it looks so cool. Oh, and then there was that EV40 that I picked up when we ran that Nightfall, and I got that Sparrow, or not the Sparrow toolkit, but the Horn toolkit. I remember getting that, and I was like, wow, this is cool. I'll take another Horn. It would be cool if I got the Sparrow, and then it dropped, and I was so excited.
That's how I got the only like pay for SRL Sparrow I have is the Arc one, and I got it from a Nightfall package.
Oh yeah.
I have a question for you guys. What you guys keep talking about paying for it? What makes you think we're going to pay for it?
Okay, so how many times did you even watch the show?
Yeah, I did. He said it's going to be at the Eververse Trading Company. He did not say that you could go and buy it.
Well, I don't know how many free things come out of the Eververse.
Yeah,
I've gotten stuff. You can get stuff free out of Eververse.
Can you? What is it?
Well, yeah, in fact, the books came out of Eververse. All kinds of stuff comes out of Eververse. You guys can't. You guys are assuming. You're assuming that it's a charge.
I believe that's what they implied intentionally.
It's the SRL book. You cost money.
It doesn't matter. You get book. You've gotten that. You got the Moments of Triumph book out of it. You get. I've gotten.
I got the Moments of Triumph out of my Postmaster.
Yeah.
Out of your Postmaster.
Yeah.
The book.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get it from...
But the Taken Emote was from Eververse, and that was free.
Well, I don't know. I know that I've gotten stuff out of Eververse, and I haven't paid for it. So, I mean, you guys are assuming that you're going to have to pay for it. And especially since there is an option for two different Sparrows, a black one and a silver and gold one.
Totally. The silver and gold one is the iron one, and that will be available to people who pre-order. And the other one will be available from the Eververse Trading Company. Like, it's an Eververse Trading Company. You're going to have to buy it. There's no way they're giving out the Gjallarwing. There's no way they're going to give the Gjallarwing away for free. I'm just going to say that right now.
I agree, Remy.
What's that?
I think if they were going to give it away for free, they would have made it some kind of Amanda Holiday quest line to get it. Some quick little quest line, as opposed to just going to the kiosk to select it.
Right.
Or they just would have told you right now, because that's more bonus points for them. They would have just said, and there'll be the other version available for you to pick up at your leisure, at Eververse Trading Company. I believe the way they said it implies that they were going to charge for it.
If it were something that you just pick up at your leisure, they probably would have just put it in your kiosk.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll definitely be purchased. Where were we going with that? Where were we? Shark's thrown us all off.
Sharks was cutting in on somebody was commenting on just what they thought about the stuff and which one they were rocking. Jez was pointing out, you'll have to pay real money for that. And
that's right. So was that you that was talking, Agrios?
I don't know.
All right.
Done talking.
Moving on. Jez, can you believe this is a real thing? And do you think that it looks cool? Which one do you like better? And will you use that?
So no, I didn't think this would exist. I figured at the very best you're gonna get Yellowhorn armor because that's what it used to be. But it's kind of weird to have a Sparrow that's Yellowhorn themed, because it's basically like, let's cash in as much on this as possible. Next year you'll have a thorn based yellow, or not Yellowhorn
Sparrow. I've seen those. The community has done some really amazing mock-ups of what some of these would look like, and I've seen the thorn one, and it looks great. But yeah, you know what? You bring up a good point. This is way cashing in on it. Like people were talking about prior to this. Yellowhorn. Everybody's got this Yellowhorn, and they're just doing this to get people's interest and bringing them in. And this is just doubling down on that. If you liked that, if you like this, and I like it. It's weird, and I cannot believe that it's here. Like when I saw that image, I was like, well, this is ridiculous. They're not going to put this in the game. It's ridiculous. I still feel that way, and I can't wait to drive it around. It kind of feels like a chopper. with the long forks out front. I mean, clearly still riding it like a crotch rocket, but
So I might use, but I probably wouldn't use the Iron Gjallarhorn version. I would want to use the other one. So if it's like a Nightfall reward by chance, I might get it, and then I might like it then.
But you're not paying $5 for it.
No, I'm going to either if it's something that you can get on your own eventually by like random drops, then I'll be fine with it. I might pick it up later on if I just cave eventually. But I've been liking the S35 Aeon Glow that I've had for a while.
Yeah, that is a beautiful sparrow.
I do like gold and black and white, so
it looks nice.
Kind of
Gold and black
tantalizing.
and white looks nice. I don't know that I'm interested in actually buying it, but it does look nice. CrimZon Warlock. Can you believe this is real? Do you like it? Which one do you like better? And will you sport it?
I'll probably sport it early on, and I do like the iron one a little bit better. Like to me, I was when it was first leaked and stuff, I was like, that does look really, really polished for, just like a fan tribute kind of thing. It looked almost too in game already. So I was surprised to see it, glad to see it in some ways, but I do hope it doesn't become a gimmick of next year's this exotic themed one. So I'm hoping to see that one cool thing, but more themed for the update in the future of what's going on with the game instead of gimmicky things like this. It does feel gimmicky to me, especially because we're already getting the Gjallarhorn back, and so this is that kind of the money grab a little bit more, especially to see what the price of it will be in the Eververse. If it's just a straight buyout, I wouldn't put it for less than 10 silver or 1,000 silver in the Eververse. I $10, I betcha. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
$10.
I would
James
probably
176.
Hold on, Gray. I need you to put the picture that James 176 has linked. As randomly. I need you to put that up on the scrine for everyone to see.
James 176 did say that in the stream he said that it was 500 coins, so $5.
I didn't see that either. I watched it twice today too, and I watched it yesterday. So I'm not as dense as Sharks, but I'm less more dense than James 176.
Well, I didn't notice it either, so I'm not sure, but that seems like a reasonable price as well.
Gray, did you find that section of video?
I did.
And what does he say?
So he actually says we're looking through the sparrow list.
Okay.
And then he continues on, and then they were thinking about something, the Iron Gjallarhorn or doing the Gjallarwing, and how cool that would be. But he doesn't say anything about new sparrows. I just inferred that they were looking at, I was thinking, why would they be looking at a list of sparrows?
Oh,
totally.
I thought they were just showing you their design process to get to what they have now.
Well, yeah. Well, they were doing that too. But when he says that, that's what I'm thinking he meant. I'm thinking he meant there's a sparrow list, like somewhere in the building, either digitally or up on a whiteboard. There's a list of sparrows they'd like to see, even if it's so far fetched. It's out of the realm of actual possibility. That's what I'm thinking. And okay, so on the screen, sort of, is a picture of of this Gjallarhorn armor, and it's funny. It's funny. I mean, you can't really see all of it because it's cattywampus on the broadcast, but it looks funny. Let's see what next. All right, so ridiculous and excited. I'm excited about it. Really, I'm excited about anything that's just just more options, in 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, it'll be something that was cool and once offered. You know what I'm really sad about? I'm really sad about I didn't just keep spending money to get that flaming skull when Festival of the Lost was around. I see people using it every now and then, and I think I wish I could add that to my list of things that I have. I mean, I don't really have the space for it. It's ridiculously packed in my vault. Speaking of, I took a hatchet to the weapons. Like, I just went through and just decided, you know what, this isn't even a roll that I want. This isn't even a roll that I would use. I did get hung up on the Tuonela SR4, both identical in every way except for one of them has Third Eye and one of them has Firefly. And so I asked Twitter, any thoughts on this, and everybody said the same thing that I was already thinking: Firefly for PvE and Third Eye for PvP. But it didn't really help because I already thought that. Like, I already knew that. I didn't really want to keep two around, especially when I'm already well in love with my Suros. I just kind of wanted to whittle it down to inevitably that Tuonela will no longer be. You won't be able to get it again, or at least not that specific line of them. It will no longer be like kind of like the shadow price that you can get now is not, and will never be the shadow price that was in the original lineup of weapons. So I kind of wanted to just hold on to one, and I haven't deleted either one yet, basically because I love both of those. I love both of those options. I actually have a pistol that has Firefly and Third Eye, and I'm never going to delete that. Or at least I hope I'm never going to delete that. But, okay, so I'd like to give this back to Agrios. Tell me more about this SRL you've been thinking about. Like, when do you think it will be back? You think it will show up with Rise of Iron?
I think if it's not it probably won't be a launch event because they're not going to want to take up like that week with it. But I think we're going to hear about its existence before. Like, maybe Gamescom. Maybe Gamescom will find out about it. Now that we know about the Iron Gjallarwing and stuff like that, maybe Gamescom will tell us about it. But whether they tell us about it in advance or not, I think we'll see it very soon after the launch of Rise and Iron. I think it was popular enough that people liked it. I don't think they would have put the work they put into it already if they weren't planning on at least bringing it back in the same incarnation which it already existed. And the only reason I can think of in my head right now why they wouldn't have brought it back like already in the same incarnation that we got last time is if they wanted it to be better and they couldn't do it because of last gen, and now we're going to see it with Rise of Iron.
I've been thinking lately about it because it's been so long since it's been here. What do you think about it being like just a yearly thing? Like it just is only in December every year, like kind of like how Halloween is only around the Halloween period of time, like Valentine's Day. Like, we're never going to have a Valentine's Day event that's not around Valentine's Day. Like, what do you think about that? Would that be enough for you? Does that sound better than nothing? Or how often would you put out SRL if you were at the controls?
It's better than nothing, but I would do it more of a rotation. I think that there's a little bit of skill involved with it, and I think also the amount of work I would like them to put into it, it should be shown more often because of that amount of work that went into it. Maybe quarterly, I would do.
Quarterly?
4 times a year. Every 3 months.
And are you interested in it showing back up?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I had fun with it before. I like variation in gameplay. I mean, some people were a little bit like, I didn't buy Destiny to race. I bought Destiny to shoot things, to spend more time on shooting things. So there was a rather vocal crowd saying that. So I feared maybe they were too vocal, and that's why we haven't seen it back. But
I've
I don't
got
know.
a good
I
idea
seem to
for
like
you,
their Sparrows.
Agrios. What they should do is they should rework it and make it 1 week event that happens on a non-Iron Banner week.
Mm-hmm.
basically start filling up each month with a new thing every week.
Yeah, every week should be a different event. I totally agree. I think they could totally have enough events to just do a different event every single week.
What do you think about how
incentivize
many?
people.
What's that?
I said that will incentivize people to keep playing.
I agree.
What do you think about like how many maps would you say for a week? Like for 3 weeks, they brought out 2 maps. I feel like it got stale relatively quickly, but it didn't get so stale that I wasn't willing to eat it. Additionally, it gave me an opportunity to kind of really hone my skill down on each of these maps. Like if there were 7 different maps, like it would be really difficult for me to, you're gonna have at least one that you have too many times, and you're gonna have one that you have not enough times, and you're gonna have people quit out on the ones that they don't like. Like how many do you think 1 week would be good for? Do you think that it should be like a trials type of thing, like where it's just one map?
Well, 2 maps would be fine if it only lasted 1 week, and you knew that it would change up next month.
I think there should be a minimum of 5 maps, period, and just every week comes back, there's those 5 maps you cycle through. Your races won't get old, you won't be running the same thing over and over again.
Gray, what do you think about SRL? And are you excited for it to come back? How often would you put it out? And so on and so forth.
I would do it every quarter. I am really hopeful that it comes back. I think that they should do it seasonally, and then they should have it change with the season. So when it's winter, regardless of if it's the same maps or not, throw in a little bit of weather effect and have snow on the ground, and maybe even have that affect how the sparrow handles a little bit, even though it's not physically touching the snow. In the springtime, have the maps just change a little bit, a lot of rain, something like that. I would like that. I think if they had 3 maps, I would be happy. I'm actually probably not as hopeful. I don't think that SRL is going to come back early in the Rise of Iron. I think we're going to be talking about this for a while. We're going to be saying, hey, when's SRL coming back? And I bet it'll be a few months before we see it.
Crimson Warlock, did you like SRL, and how often do you think it should be here, and when do you think we'll see it again?
I really loved SRL. I've been wanting it to come back. Can't wait for it to come back. I don't think we'll see it until December. Just a 1-year thing. But I would really like a rotation of maps, and if it was, I think it should be maybe on a rotating schedule with Iron Banner. You get Iron Banner once, and then the following week would be SRL, and Iron Banner's back, because I think Iron Banner's on a 2-week rotation now, isn't it? Or is it 3 weeks?
It's a month.
Is it a month?
It's just slightly different weeks of that month.
Okay. But yeah, like if you had SRL come back, like right after Iron Banner, like you just knew that the following week it was going to be SRL after Iron Banner, I think that'd be enough for it to satisfy the people who want to do it, as long as there are plenty of maps. I don't know if maybe 3 maps. 5 seems like a lot to master. So maybe 3, I think, would be a good number.
I like 3.
But if you want my prediction of when it's going to be, I bet we'll get Iron Banner on the 4th of October, and then on the 18th, we'll get SRL.
Wait. Okay. On the 4th and on the 18th, you say?
Yep. So the 4th is going to be Iron Banner, and the 18th is going to be SRL, because they probably want to push the Iron Banner motif more, but they also probably don't want to put it in the first 2 weeks of the launch.
Isn't that putting it pretty close to Festival of the Lost?
Oh, well, yeah.
The Festival of Lost doesn't really interfere with that type of stuff anyways, though.
I think that
it's a separate type of thing.
It depends on if they deck out the tower, because they decked out the tower for SRL, so they couldn't duplicate it.
Yeah, but
That's true.
yeah, true. They don't have to deck it out for SRL though.
They should, though.
Yes,
You know
they
what? The more I
Well,
think
and
about it,
they could also move it too. I mean, we're getting a new social space on Earth. They could maybe, since grasping at straws, SRL is a PvP activity. It might show up in the Iron Stronghold, Fellwinter's Peak. It could show up there. That's where
So-
we go to meet Tess for our bounties or whatever. Who knows?
Last year, the Festival of Lost started the 26th of October, so it was quite late already.
that's true.
So that would still be like the 25th of October if you keep on a Tuesday. So that gives the entire week to be SRL, and then Festival of Lost starts.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm
as long
so
as that
sad I
balances
didn't get
out
that
like
helmet.
that, I think it's plausible.
Do you guys think there's any chance that Iron Banner won't be in Rise of Iron?
No.
So here's my reasoning. And I don't know that this is going to be the case, but they've got a new game mode coming out. What if this isn't a game mode for PvP that is constantly enabled? Maybe it's a new seasonal rotating type of thing, and now that we're becoming Iron Lords, we're doing what we prepared to do in Rise of Iron. Maybe they have a different sort of Power Matters PvP activity that's going to be rotational.
Can you imagine the backlash you would get from the community if you took away Iron Banner?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the backlash that we get from the community for not having Sparrow Racing.
The big thing about the big thing that's pushing towards there definitely being an Iron Banner is the fact that they explicitly go out of their way to say there's not going to be Iron Banner on the old consoles.
Oh, that's a good point.
This is true.
And you know what else is a good point too? We've seen 3 new sets of Iron Banner gear.
So let's see. I like the idea of having SRL very often, but I think that what you're looking at is like fatigue. Like you're gonna fatigue people. Like Bungie really needs to work on a balance. There needs to be a balance between here is some downtime, quote unquote, for you to just get whatever done, and here is where you push. So they have the trials every weekend so that there's an opportunity for people to have a reason to push. You don't have to, and if you're not that great of a PvPer, then you're probably not going to. But Iron Banner, I feel, is kind of like opening up the gates to everyone. Like here is an opportunity. It's like Halloween, go trick-or-treating. You're either going to get something at the end of the drop or you can work towards one of these packages. And so I think that if it just went Iron Banner SRL, you're talking about people just yolking themselves on Destiny. And I think that it's probably not in their game plan to do that. It's probably not wise. And I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see it. Because I enjoy Iron Banner, I enjoy SRL very much, but SRL took a lot out of me. Like I played a lot, and in those matches, I swear to you, I did not blink in any of those matches because you had to be staring at the screen the whole time. Like even regular PvP is less intensive than. Because at some point somebody shoots you, and then even if it's mayhem, there's like a second where you're actually not playing. You can blink, you can look away, you can take a breath. But in SRL, like you have to, like the whole time, you have to be on top of it, or else someone's going to take that lead from you. So I mean, I think we're looking at fatigue here. Sharks, what did you think about SRL? Would you be excited to have it back? When do you think we'll see it again?
I liked SRL. I played, I don't remember, 200, 300 games of it.
Oh my God.
Do I think it's coming back? Definitely not before Rise of Iron. And to be quite honest, at this point, I wouldn't hold my breath that it's coming back at all because they have had plenty of time and plenty of opportunities that would have put a stopgap in between drought to bring in SRL, even with just the 2 maps that they had, and they haven't. Why haven't they? That's the big question. So, there's a lot of vocal people out there about, we need to have SRL back, but maybe the numbers in Bungie's eyes didn't show that they should bring it back. And, they're always tight-lipped about anything. I think it would be neat to have it, but at the same time, how do I put this? Okay, well, one, I played 300 games because they said that it was going to end after 3 weeks, and we don't know if we're coming back. Would I have grind that many games if I thought maybe it was going to be a weekly thing? Well, knowing me, I probably still would have. But the other thing is that people were grinding, like you say, because it was the only place that you could get top tier helmets.
Yeah.
So the question comes down to, okay, let's say they brought SRL back. They're not going. It's still only going to be helmets. So, do they really want to have that many helmets coming into the game every month, every 2 months, every 3 months even? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, the whole dynamics of how you get gear now has really, really changed. And with the amount of stuff that you get dropped for things like Iron Banner now, maybe it wouldn't make a difference. So I guess if you look at it that way, maybe having those drops wouldn't matter. But
On that note, if the late level is capped appropriately, it's really just giving you different rules on helmets.
Yeah, well, that's the same. That's the same as it is with Iron Banner. I mean, I have so much 335 gear that I'm
right.
deleting
Iron Banner is late adjusted, though.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The Iron Banner's late adjusted. The SRL, if it weren't late adjusted, then the helmets flooding the marketplace, so to speak, shouldn't hurt anything really, because they're just different rules on helmets.
Oh, because they were light adjusted. What are you talking about?
I'm saying if that were a problem, bringing SRL back more often, they could put a light level cap on the helmet, since it's not an actual PvP or PvE, like shooting at things activity, if they were worried about it screwing up the economy for a light level.
Yeah, but then would people do it? That's the other question.
But at the same time, it's not like you're going to get light caps just through helmets anyway. I mean, the most you're going to get is a helmet 5 light above you, which isn't even going to raise you one single light. If that's the only item you have, that's an increase.
Those helmets were dropping max light, and I wasn't max light at that point.
But that was before the change to the light, wasn't it? I mean, like now, if you did SRL and you were 320, the highest helmet you could get was 325. You wouldn't get a 335 helmet. So it's not really pushing people to.
Then, right?
Yeah, but that's all you're going to have every single month or every 3 months is just those helmets. I don't know. I could see a problem with that, and I could see that maybe that's part of the reason why they haven't brought it back too. I don't know. I think it would be neat to come back. I don't think that it should be. Definitely don't think it should be bi-weekly. I don't even think it should be every month. Unless they actually here's how they could bring it back, especially now that they've gotten rid of last gen, is have it as a normal mode where you don't get end game gear.
Or what if you did? What if you just got rewarded the same as you would in a regular Crucible match?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I mean.
Just normal gear.
That would be
normal,
cool.
like a normal PvP match. You could do that. Then I would play it. I'd play it here and there. You have bounties for it. Each week.
That's kind of what I meant when I was saying to you before, Sharks, was if they thought it was going to be a problem flooding the market with all that high-level gear, they could just light adjust it. I mean, that's what I meant, like give it like standard Crucible like level rewards, because there would just be different rules on equipment then, basically.
Right.
See, I don't see how it's that big of a deal, though, because it's just giving players more options to play how they want to play.
Okay. we've spent enough
but
time
wait.
on this.
But wait, you guys talked about replacing SRL, placing Iron Banner with SRL. That's why I say I don't know.
No, it would
Anyways,
be in the
that's
rotation with Iron Banner.
Gray, did you verify the 500 coins from Eververse remark?
I did not. I was unable to verify that.
Okay. Okay. Enough talk on SRL. Very cool game mode. We definitely need to see it back. I would be happy with it coming back just once a year. I think it would be cool for it to be rolled out very similarly to the way it was this last time. I like it being a big event. I like it not being in the playlist, kind of buried in there. It's big and different, and it's exciting. I think it was very cool. And once a year would be fine. Right around Christmas would be fine. I'm good with all that. Moving on. Iron Banner. I have not played a single match this whole time. I've been collecting. What's that?
Me either.
Yeah, you haven't played a single match either?
Yeah, and from the sounds of it, we might be kind of lucky in that regard. A lot of people weren't getting their playtime even counted for them.
Right, and that sounds like not good times. Let's go to our Iron Banner correspondent, Sharks 3D Man. How's the Iron Banner been?
up until today, it's been fine.
Yeah. So have you gotten anything good?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I think I got one pair of tier 12 boots that I like to roll on. I have too much shit in my vault, so I've been deleting 335 gear left, right, and center. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, tons of stuff's dropping. I mean, I'm at 94 games so far. I haven't really played too much today. I played with Jaded about 4 hours ago when I tweeted out all the issues that were going on, and we weren't getting gear. And I was like, well, if we're going to play this many games in a row and not get gear and not get rep, I mean, I didn't need the rep, but he needed the rep. I was like, there's no point in playing. And then actually after I got offline, literally about, I don't know, 15 minutes after I sent my tweet out, Bungie posted on BungieNet forum that they're having issues. Yeah, no shit, you're having issues. You're pissing off a lot of people. But Maynard James told me, I don't know, about half hour later that he was not having those issues any longer. So maybe they actually fixed it. But I mean, as far as Iron Banner's going, yeah, there's gear dropping. But just like always, there's a lot of crap going on in Iron Banner. There have been matches where lag or whatever the hell you want to call it is going on, and it's just getting very, very frustrating. And it's not all the time. I really wish that it would get sorted out. And it just hasn't. But I love playing Iron Banner. And it's just watching how frustrating it can be for myself or other people. It puts a really sour taste in your mouth, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know why you guys aren't playing it. If you want gear, this is the way to do it. It's literally the easiest way of getting gear. In fact, that's talking about gear and talking about Iron Banner. I kind of want to put this out, especially if anybody from Bungie is listening. We have a lot of issues with people that are not playing, or they are cheating, or they're doing all this stuff, and a lot of it is to get the gear. And I don't know if this would help, but I think part of the problem is people don't give a shit. They can go into these matches and they do whatever, and they know they're guaranteed that they're going to get gear. Like you, for instance, Remy, you're always complaining about how control is. People aren't taking points, and this especially this Iron Banner, I've really noticed it more. So I think people are listening to the podcast and they're figuring out that they can do exactly what they say, what you're saying, and still get rewards. And it is very, very frustrating. If you go into a match, especially if you're playing control, you need to take the zones and then you need to shoot stuff. But people are like, I don't need to because I'm going to get rewards anyway. So maybe Bungie needs to tweak the way they're doing the drops and not give as many drops for people that lose, and then people will start playing properly. But that's the only gripe I've really had of Iron Banner.
Yeah, I could see that. It's got to be a really difficult job for Bungie, just having to balance things out. Like when you're talking about having to tweak the way or when they give out gear, when they give out prizes, like what if it was you had to capture three things during your game? Well, then all you'd have to do is capture one, hold back until one of the guys got it, until one of the enemies got it, and then kill them and do it again. Like, there would be people gaming that system. And so, having it be totally random is, it's the only way to make sure that people are just going to do what they're going to do. And you can't game it any more than not being part of what's going on. Like I don't know, but there's got to constantly be this back and forth, and them trying to figure out how to work with the community and how to reward people that are playing. Like, how would you even do that? So yeah, I love Clash. I love Clash because I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about whether people are doing what they say they're going to do or doing what they should do. I like the way you blamed it on me, though. Like, they're listening to the podcast and they're realizing.
I like that too. Yeah.
Like you know what? On the one hand, I'm thinking like wow, like the idea that my words would sway enough people to where your games are ruined. Like, I can't
like that.
I can't be that narcissistic. I don't think that enough people are listening to the show to where your game is ruined.
No, it's not. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, no, but really, people have been doing it more and more and more, and it is very, very frustrating. Well, and like I said, I have said this about Clash, and I've said this about other PvP modes too. People just, they work the system, and it becomes very frustrating for those of us that like to play specific game modes the way they're supposed to be played. This goes to every game mode. This last week, before Iron Banner hit, my goal was to finish. I'm trying to finish my grimoire, and I'm at 5,005. But I had to finish 18 salvage matches. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to do my salvage matches. And I did it with some of our Guardian 1 members and some of the stuff I just soloed and whatnot. And oh my gosh, it's so frustrating because people do not play salvage. People go in and they play skirmish because you can win. You don't need to take those salvage points.
Totally.
Or what a lot of people do, which is kind of frustrating too, is if you're going in and because you get I think you get a little bit more points for actually taking a salvage point and holding it, but it's actually easier to let the other team take the salvage point and then you go in and steal it from them because you'll rack up the points really fast. And it's just like, you got to be kidding. What's the point in playing this mode if you're not going to actually play the mode? And I even got messaged by random other teams, and they were like, good game, thanks for playing salvage, actually playing as opposed to skirt. And it just made me laugh. And it was like, yeah, I've had the same problem, so yeah, it's just, the joys of playing PvP, I guess.
Hegemony says this is why I don't play PvP, haha. And I think, when I see a comment like that, I think back to Year 1 Destiny. I played very little PvP. It says it says that I won 100 matches or completed 100 matches in the moments of triumph for year one, but I tell you what, I do not remember. I do not remember playing, let alone winning 100 matches because I just didn't I wasn't in the right mindset. But now that I've played a lot more in year two, I tell you what, Hegemony, it is like a double-edged sword. The highs are really high and the lows are really low. Like when I'm on a team with my friends, just this last week or the week before, I rolled with all Guardian 1, and it was so much fun. I had so much fun. The communication was there, and being problem solving with people was really great. Hearing somebody call out snipers down this alley. Do you know how worthless a sniper is on the other team if nobody's walking down their sights? Like if you know what area to avoid, that sniper just sits there and has to reassess themselves, and they might run into our line of sight. And so I remember, Hedge, you posted that you weren't going to be pursuing the year two moment of triumphs, and I wanted to offer my assistance. I wanted to say, well, we can get it done. Like together we can get this done. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But I realized that the person has to want it in order to make that kind of thing happen. Like I want the year two moment of triumphs, not because I'm going to wear them, because I think that they're ugly. I mean, they're ugly to me. Like I think the crest looks cool. The colors just really don't. They don't say moment of triumph to me. They say like, this is your Easter treat. I feel like they look like Easter eggs. But it's definitely worth hanging out and doing. I'm enjoying it. The only reason I haven't been pushing harder for Iron Banner this time is because the rewards don't really speak to me. I've already got a really sweet Nerwin's Mercy, and I tell you what, I am interested in picking that one up, and I do plan on getting to rank 5, and I probably will purchase that. But I don't. If I don't get there, it's not going to be that big of a deal. The only reason that I wouldn't be upset because I don't know, the rewards aren't really. I don't know. I don't really need that pulse rifle. Hedge says he doesn't think that year 2 is as good as year 1. That's why. I agree. Okay, Agrios hasn't played a game. Crimson Warlock, have you played any Iron Banner?
Yeah, I've got 2 characters, both rank 2 right now. Working to rank 3 on one of them. Got most of my weeklies done on that one that's almost rank 3 already too. So I'm having fun. I've gotten 2 light levels total. So I finally have a character like at 330 light now.
Congratulations. Let's see. Jez, have you played any Iron Banner?
Not this week. No.
Are you planning on playing any Iron Banner?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't really have a drive to.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah. Lazy week.
Let's see. Gray, have you played any Iron Banner?
Yeah, I've played the last couple nights. I've got my hunter up to rank 3. Probably, it's been kind of what you said before. The highs have been high, the lows have been low, and the lows have been really frustrating. The 2 things that have been bothering me, I've noticed a lot more where my shots aren't registering like I'm used to them registering, and usually I'm getting pretty good matches as far as connections. People have green bar, but it doesn't feel like they have green bar. And either that just means that I'm having a couple off nights and I'm really not making the shots, but darn, they feel like they should be connecting better than they are. The other thing that is happening a lot to me, and maybe it's because I've been playing solo, I keep getting dropped into very lopsided matches late in the match.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, like right before the show went live, I was playing a few matches, and I dropped in, and we had 10,000 points, and they had 18,000 points. So I got to hang out for 35 seconds and then it was over. That's been happening a bit more too, because I just think people are, somebody mentioned it in the chat that people are quitting more. It seems this Iron Banner, they're dropping out of these matches, which is too bad.
I played one game of doubles last week, and it was, or one game of doubles on each system rather. And when I jumped into the one on the Xbox, I jumped in a team that was down by like 5,000 points. It was like 6,000 to 1,000 points, and I thought, man, that sucks. Whoever jumped in with whoever it was with this guy has split. Like what a jerk. And it was really sad because as I was going into orbit, I heard heavy ammo available. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Like that happens to me so much. I just can't stand it. I can't stand going into a losing match at the heavy ammo round, especially because if there was only one person there, all they really had to do was take that one person out, and then they each would get heavy, which is what happened. So like the first 3 or 4 deaths were just to rockets. Like I just couldn't even run from them. I kept being spawned over by where they were. It was really horrible. But it almost seemed like the other person that was on my team wasn't even trying anymore. But then I jumped in and we started taking them down. And in the last like the last 10 seconds of the game, I took them both out with my shadow shot, and we gained the lead. And then they couldn't, like, they were hiding. They were hiding over in the corner because they were winning, and there was only like 20 seconds left on the clock, and we did it. And so I danced with that guy. Like it was really great to jump into a game that was basically hopeless, actually give it a try and then win. Like those guys had to be furious, on the, they're like some kind of 2.5 minutes away from winning the match. Just a free match, they made one guy quit. They kicked their asses so badly. And and it felt really good. It felt really good to get into that match and really turn it around and win. And I'm so sad that I didn't save it. And does anyone know if there's a way to turn off the Xbox One's necessary sharing of what you save? Because if there was one functionality that separated my interest in playing on the PlayStation and playing on the Xbox One, it's the fact that I can save a video clip or an image and just have it on my hard drive, and I can release it when I feel like it. On the Xbox One, whenever you record a clip or an image, it just goes right to your shared feed. Like people just, like there was a couple of times where I got really lucky with a kill or something, and I was like, oh, I want to save that and I'll share it later, or I just want to look at that later, like I want to see how that happened. And then I noticed people were commenting on it, and I was like, oh man, this is just all being shared. Is there a way, Gray, do you know if there's a way to stop sharing every single thing that I save, or is that just a function because it sucks if that's the case?
I haven't turned mine off. Mystic Rose in the chat is saying yes, there's a way to do it. And I think there has to be a way to do it. It would seem a little bit too invasive for them not to give you the feature, but we just got to find where it is.
Well, she's saying that she's seeing the graphical distortion flashing on the stream image across the bottom. I'm seeing it too, actually. There does appear to be a flashing across the bottom of the screen every so often. And that's strange. But
so the answer you're getting is, nah, brah, power of the cloud.
Is that your answer?
From what I look, there is like the user forums for like requested features. One of them is stop auto posting my recordings to the activity feed.
Right, like how are you supposed to do anything real with what you record if every single clip you save is just auto posted to everybody who's following you? Like it's horrible. It feels horrible. I don't want to save things because I don't want people looking that closely into what I'm doing. Like sometimes I have to take sneaky tactics, and I have to hide because my shields are going down, and it feels gross, but it feels good to not just be shot down because I poked my head out before I was backed up to full shields. And so I've been So I've been not wanting to save anything on the Xbox because I'm self-conscious of that fact. And what a horrible, horrible, horrible decision. And yet another horrible design choice by the Xbox One team. You guys are...
Yeah, everything I read says you can either have it as it is or disable DVR altogether.
Yeah, that's horrible. What a horrible choice. What a horrible, horrible choice. So that makes me, that right there, not even including the entire list of crap that I hate about the Xbox One, makes me want to play on PlayStation 4 because, hey, I can just record this and I can just save it. And there's not just some copy out there, Like, what if I was trying to make a machinima or do something special or interesting, having there's no privacy there. There's no privacy there. That sucks. All right. So I think that was it. I should. I do have a PS4 hegemony. Okay. That's it. Let's cut this conversation off. We're moving into the second hour here. Let's get into some Rise of Iron information. I really enjoyed this stream. I have a feeling that I'm really going to enjoy all of the streams that have come or that are going to show up. I'm super excited. I got this really killer GIF that I'm going to post that's kind of really describes accurately my feelings on Rise of Iron and how excellent I think it's going to be, or at least how I feel inside about it. But I have taken some notes that I definitely want to go over. So Deej was joined by Steve Cotton, world design lead on Rise of Iron, and Keith Bachman, art lead for Live. He did like armor and weapons and ships and Ghost. Really cool guy. I met him, and he is sharp as a tack. Like he is very much like, when you meet somebody and they're like paying way attention to you. That's the kind of guy he is, and funny guy, very cool guy. Let's go with Gray. Will you throw up the picture that is of the hunter from the very beginning of the show? So this image shows both Deej's weapon, which is this really gross blue and orange combo. Like, I don't know who's in charge of
gun?
these. Yeah, the Nerf gun. That's excellent. That is excellent, Jez. That's exactly what it is. Like, I don't know who's in charge of these, colors, but it looks ridiculous. I don't want that gun.
It's probably PvP because they always have shitty colors.
Oh man, we just lost Agrios. You know what? I was curious about that. I was curious if that was what we were going to if that's what the next colors were going to be, because as much... What's that?
It wasn't vanilla. They were like red and blue, or maybe that was like one of the later expansions. And then this for this entire expansion, they were Seahawk colors. Yeah. And you know what? And even those colors, as ridiculous as they look, at least they're like a vibrant. It's like a really cool blue and a really obnoxious green. But this blue and this orange, I'm not interested in any of those things. What I am interested in is the scout rifle. I think that's a scout rifle that the hunter is holding with the Vanguard symbol on it. It's like a blue and a white and an orange, and that looks amazing to me. Like, I think that looks great. It's clearly not as awesome as the year one, the vanilla weapons that were black with orange on the side. Like, that's always going to look cool to me. But I am really hoping that that's what the Vanguard weapons look like. I think it looks fantastic. I love the way it just kind of it susses out the shape and the feel of the weapon. And actually, right next to it is this image of this new Suros auto rifle that's been fused with some kind of SIVA attributes. That looks really excellent also. Very much looking forward to both of those things. But I mean, look at Deej's weapon. It just... I feel like it's like an orange sickle. You know what I'm saying? What did you think of the Titan armor that's basically like New Monarchy just took over Prada?
You know what? I was thinking that too. It kind of looks like a couch, couch cushion.
No. It doesn't look like that. It looks like a Prada bag.
Does it? I'm not a I'm not real familiar with what Prada bags look like.
I'll get it, or maybe Dolce and Gabbana. I'm not sure. One second, I'll get a picture of what it looks like to me.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like at first, it looked like buttons, like where that new monarchy image is. It looks like buttons. Let's see. Are we going to get Agrios back? We need to get Agrios back.
Yep, he's restarting.
Okay. Yeah, tell him to just call back in. That should work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I think it's going to be cool. I really hope that the blue and orange is the crucible weapons, and I really hope that the hunter's weapon is what the Vanguard guns look like. I think that's going to look really cool. Moving on. Okay, the Divide. The Divide looks fantastic. I love all of the snow everywhere. I love the fact that it feels like time has passed. How much time do we still don't know, right?
Nope,
Anyone?
we don't know.
Okay, yeah.
To me, it only seems like 3 months, maybe. Late fall when the game launched to late winter with this larger snowstorm, maybe.
Yeah. So you think that the snow is a product of the season?
Well, it is Earth, but that can change with the way that the lore is.
Well, it's important to remember that everything changed with the arrival of the Traveler.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning was, the world changed with the Traveler coming.
So let's see, Agrios, where did you leave off?
I hadn't even started, as far as I know. I don't even know. I missed a whole bunch of what you guys were actually talking about because I couldn't understand anything that was coming through on my end.
Okay, I had Gray pull up the image of Deej was looking at the Hunter and the Titan, and Deej's weapon is this gross orange and blue, and the Titan's weapon is this really sweet looking black Suros with Siva aspects infused. It's on the screen right now, and the Hunter is holding what appears to be a scout rifle or maybe a pulse rifle with it was blue and white with orange. It was like a Vanguard looking one, and I was saying that the blue and orange looks gross, and Jez said it was more than likely going to be or at least perhaps the Crucible weapons, because right now the Crucible has the Seahawks colors, and I was saying I was really hoping that what that Hunter is holding was going to be the new Vanguard weapons, because I think that color looks cool. I think that it looks really interesting. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
I bet you the ugly blue and orange is going to be the new Vanguard colors, because that's what Vanguard colors are.
Blue and orange? It's not blue and orange. Is it?
I thought you said the one he was holding. Yeah, the one he's holding is ugly blue and orange, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Hunter. The Hunter has it looks like mostly white with some blue.
Right. What I'm saying is I would bet that would be the Crucible colors, and if there is an ugly blue and orange one, that's probably the new Vanguard colors.
But the scout rifle literally has the Vanguard symbol on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a good point then.
So if you go Gray to the, oh man,
either way, that new Soros is awesome.
That new Soros looks so kick-ass. I'm wondering if these weapons are going to come like this. Like what I was thinking a lot about was who is going to be our handler for all of this Siva crap, and then I realized that it's more than likely going to be Saladin. Like he will more than likely be our, like the person that we interact with in order to get these things. But then I started thinking about it, and he's kind of just in charge of this Iron Banner, but because we might not have Iron Banner, where is he when he's not in the tower? Does he go hang out in Fellwinter's Peak, and that's where we're going to see him, and that's where we're going to get these things? Or do you think that we might see somebody new to give us these things.
They already said there's going to be new people.
Well, thank you for that, Sharks.
I definitely think that we're going to have new handlers, if you will. People who are going to, Saladin's going to be like, this is so and so. They're my so and so specialist. They're going to tell you how to get into so and so we can do this. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to introduce a couple new people like that. So I don't think it's going to be 100% Saladin. I think they're going to have new people there for dialogue, and, different perspective, being brought to the story, if you will. I think, we'll probably be turning in our quest to some of these new characters. This is the way I imagine it anyway. I mean, we definitely saw the image of some person we don't know standing in that sort of ceremonial room in that Felwinter's Peak. So I imagine that's going to be one of our quest givers / rewards turn-in points.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Hedge says weapon skins, period. I need them, period. And I agree, especially with, some of these weapons look really gross, but I imagine that if they ever did introduce weapon skins, I think that what we would see is that it's kind of like the Spectar is now, like only certain pieces would come with it. Like it wouldn't be retroactively every piece of gear that's already shown up, because some of those pieces of gear were built specifically to look a certain way. Like they want everything that you do to appear to somebody like you would be able to see them. So it probably wouldn't work with much of the older gear, but I think that would be cool. I would be really interested in seeing weapon skins. But I was also saying, Agrios, that I think the Divide looks fantastic, and that I really like the idea of seeing change. I really like the idea of seeing forward motion, or even backwards motion. Like I like the idea that this place I've been there so many times. I've been to the Divide so many times. I started also thinking about it. I don't think we're ever going to get to kill that Devil Walker again. Like once. I've been trying to think about where the game takes us. Like, okay, so let me ask you guys this. So when you go through that first mission again, do you think that it will be changed from that point on? Like here, like they drop you off where the plague lands, in the area that connects the plague lands, but that's even been changed. Do you think that when you start the game that you will get the original?
I think.
Go on.
I think they're just going to have another node right beside the old patrol node. You get to choose which patrol you're going to go on.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, that's the way they've done every other time they've had more than one version of a mission. Like when you've had to go back to the summoning pits and kill a specific wizard for Thorn. That's an example everybody should have come across at some probably by. Well, no, I guess the new Guardians, they don't have to do that anymore. But there's other missions like that, like for Touch of Malice, you have to do the same thing. You go kill a wizard in Fear's Embrace.
There's also that alternate version of that one mission that takes you down further, which you could never go back to, that they recently re-added back. I can't remember what it's called, but it is on Earth.
Yeah, they added missions that were just part of temporary things. Is that what you mean, like the Fist of Crota type stuff?
No, like during one of the quest lines when you were doing the Taken King, you were on a mission that you've been on before, but at the very end, instead of it ending, you were on an elevator that just started going down.
Yeah, it was like the Rasputin. You're at
Rasputin
Rasputin going down, and you had to kill a Cabal Taken guy to complete the quest.
You guys are talking missions. Okay, Remy's talking patrol, and they have already stated that there's going to be two patrols. There's going to be the patrol that you have now, and there's going to be the patrol that they just showed us. So if you want to patrol with snow, you go into the one that they showed us now, and if you want to patrol without snow, you go into the other one. They have already stated that.
Where?
By the way, Sharks, that's what we were saying.
Yeah, they said that. They said that like weeks ago.
Yeah, and I caught it in the stream too. That's how they made it sound. You would essentially select and load into one of two versions of the Cosmodrome for patrol.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that.
Well,
Good
I
catch,
thought
you
that's
guys.
what I understood they meant. I mean, they didn't. The way they stated it, it didn't come off as 100% crystal clear that way to me. But I mean, that's what I thought they meant by it.
Okay, so both of you bring up a good point. That Fist of Crota and also that mission where you go down and kill that additional Cabal guy. So like the Fist of Crota, like I do that all the time, and so you guys are saying that will remain the same, like that will be the same Fist of Crota that I have right now.
Yeah, they're not going to change old missions.
Yeah,
And they're not going to and they're going to keep the old patrol because Deej said it once, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but the guy that actually went to E3, it wasn't Scott, it was the other one. He also said that they were going to have two separate patrols, and the reason that they wanted to have keep all this stuff is so that new Guardians can go and do the stuff that we have done. But if you don't want to go back to that old content and run it, like, doing test weapons, then you can run the new content.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
I didn't hear that. What was that, Jess?
it would also make sense considering if not, they would have to change pretty much every mission that happens in the Cosmodrome.
Yeah. I guess that makes much more sense. Um, I was just starting to get kind of misty-eyed for the fact that it wouldn't be the same. Like they were changing something, and every time that you get to those areas, it was going to be changed like that. But I guess it makes much more sense to have two iterations. I mean, it kind of does split up the community. It kind of splits up the player base. One of the things that they said they wanted to have is, old and new people crossing paths. And if you don't have anybody that from 2 years in crossing paths with the newbies, then you're going to have, two iterations. But I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I think that what they're doing looks really great. Somebody commented oh wow, you added some snow, and I don't feel like that's all they did. They clearly thought about where the snow was going to be. I think that the Siva looks like digital mold. I think that it looks really cool, and it catches your eye. Also, that red stuff looks a lot like Twizzlers, and I think that's
You completely ruined it, Remy.
What's
It
that?
was just supposed to be a random image, and now you're bringing it up. You're supposed to just let it go, and then it be Twizzlers, and then everyone will be like, wait, that's Twizzlers, isn't it?
Actually, you ruined it.
No.
Oh no!
You already brought the comparison to Twizzlers.
We lost Agrios again. That's a shame. I wonder what's going down out there in Florida. Let's see.
But you know what somebody said on Twitter after that was revealed? People were saying, "Oh, it looks like a scene out of War of the Worlds."
Yeah, Mystic Rose just posted that in the chat, and they showed pictures, and I agree, it does kind of have that feel to it. I haven't seen that War of the Worlds. It looks kind of interesting. I think I should check that out. What I don't like, what I don't understand in this new version of all these things, like I like the imagery for where the cuts are made, but I don't see a rhyme or reason to why they're cut in the angles that they are, and I don't know why they're cut where they are. Like I liked the imagery, walking out into the divide and seeing that barrel cut off looks cool, but why? Why on some walls is there cutting but no holes? And so I guess it's possible that I'm not seeing what it is that they're doing. Like I guess it's possible that I guess it's possible that I just don't see what they're trying to communicate with it, but I don't like it right now. Like it.
So, Remy,
my
they were kind
understand-
of alluding through the stream that they really want to tell us what these splicers are doing, and I think it's intentional that like the cuts are weird and they're selective and deliberate, but doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. The other clue that I got is when they kind of stepped into this area that I have on the stream, this new cutaway, new space.
Uh-huh.
They said, "Oh, my controller's starting to rumble." I think they're creating new types of machines with Siva Tech integrated into it. That's going to be piecemealed together from all this stuff they're cutting from the Cosmodrome.
Well, see, that makes
Totally.
sense, but then some of them are like cuts with nothing cut away. So it makes it look more like something was trying to cut something and then it got like shot away or got scared away.
Yeah. Or there's even just cuts where, like, there's an area where there's
A corner cut off a box and the
yeah.
corner is on the ground.
and that corner is on the ground. So yeah. So I don't really understand it. They did say at one point, where is it? Where is the quote that I? Oh, it says they're no longer trespassing; they are building something. And I would be willing to bet if we went back to the trailer before last, that Zamboni of Death was probably made out of the pieces on the wall. But yeah, I just don't really see a rhyme or reason to it. And
So I think, okay, I mean, if these things are being controlled by a machine or some sort of cybernetic virus or whatever, okay, so you got to think like a machine. Like if it needs to get power or whatever from point A to point B, the shortest distance is a straight line. If it needs a hole, it's going to cut a hole. By the same note, if it's building something and it says, I need a piece of metal this shape here for that, it's just going to go cut that out of some wall it doesn't need there.
no, I get that, but like, I don't know. I would think that the pieces that, like, it looks like every single cut that they've made is at close to a 45-degree angle. Like none of them look straight up and down or sideways.
Well, we saw Shanks cutting them, right? So maybe
Yeah.
that's just the most efficient cutting angle. Like that's the way, the way machines are programmed to just efficiently do things. Like the way the Roomba decides to vacuum your room isn't in straight lines, like vertically, like you would do. It goes all these weird angles until it knows it's covered all the space.
Yeah, but
So
some
I
of
would
the
just say
least
this is
efficient.
the Shanks, most efficiently cutting the door as quickly as they can with one quick swipe of 2 laser blasts. Make a triangle.
It also does the non-least efficient thing and like cut a pipe in two and then leave both pieces of pipe there for some reason.
Right. It looks like vandalism. Half of it looks like vandalism. Like I get that it looks like they're building something, and I get that they're alluding to a bigger thing that they're doing. But I guess I just can't wait to find out more. There was like a box corner cut off Agrios, and the corner of the box is just sitting on the floor. So it's not even like. It's not like they cut it off and they did it and they took it away somewhere. Also, the end of the
Kind of what I was saying was like they don't really care about that sort of thing either. So if they're just cutting a hole in the wall and their laser goes in a straight line through that wall and chops up some corners of boxes on the other side, what do they care? They're not trying to make it look pretty.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I guess I didn't think about it like that. At first, I thought that it might have been like a melee stroke, but then I saw those Shanks doing it.
Well, I thought those Shanks were doing it more like kind of like a bug, like eating at the side, like very slowly going down.
Oh, you're totally right. Kind of like a caterpillar or something.
Yeah.
Well,
like
that's what I mean
caterpillar
about
eating a
like
leaf.
them, like harvesting the metal. Like if they just need metals of certain shapes and pieces, they're just gonna pick the closest piece of metal and start cutting that out and taking it to where they're gonna take it. Like an ant or something.
Yeah, I could see that too. Also, it kind of seems wasteful. Like I don't know. I'm just curious to see where it goes. I hope they explain it further.
So again, this is just more for maybe making it feel more imminent, more real with the environment. So those Shanks, we never saw them carrying any metal. They were only cutting. So something else is carrying these pieces of metal somewhere.
Well,
Perhaps.
unless they're like more like eating the strips of metal that they're cutting, so they're like taking off the one strip that they're using and then storing it inside themselves, like
True,
an
Jess.
actual bug, and then depositing their like half a pound of metal because they're really small.
Yeah, that
That or
could
they're
be.
putting it in the
But
same place that Ghost put your weapons in the eye of the gatekeeper and stuff.
Oh yeah,
well, my
that's a good
explanation
point.
for having
All
that
sh-
chunk
all
of
sh-
metal there is they just haven't come and picked it up yet.
All shanks have bags of
That's
holding
true.
inside.
Yep.
Right, a bag of
You figured
holding.
out, Des. So I think this is a good time to bring up too the weapons that these splicers and such are using on us are these deep, vivid red laser beams. They don't look like anything we've really seen before. Now, up to this point, every single shot fired at us by an enemy has been one of those three elements that we know and use ourselves. What's the deal, Remy?
Well, clearly there's a new element, and it's clearly this Siva whatever. I mean,
Can we
we've
use
even yeah, definitely in that video it shows that it shows the Titan using that new Suros that's shooting like Siva junk, like it's shooting
Yeah,
those.
that's what I wanted to know. Do you speculate that is then the same energy that they're firing at us in those red beams?
Definitely, absolutely. And you know what? Here's where the spinfoil hat comes out. What if there's a new subclass where it's a Siva subclass,
The infected.
right? Like this is one of the things that I have not heard a lot about on the interwebs. I've not heard a lot of people talk about a new class. And I'm happy that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about a new class, just because I feel like people are kind of happy with the choices that they have now. For the longest time, when there was only two in that blank spot, like I knew that there had to be another one coming. Each of these.
Necromancer Master Race.
What's that?
Warlock Cyber Necromancer Master Race.
I think that I would love to see a new subclass. I think that would be fantastic, and it would kind of go along with this. But is there another type of weapon besides these three specific elements, like that thorn has the poison damage? I mean, there's clearly no poison subclass in Destiny right now, so. Does anybody else think that there could be a fourth subclass coming, or do you think that this will only be something that we utilize through gear? Let's start with you, Gray.
I don't think that it's we're going to get a new subclass. I don't have good reason behind why I think that's the case. I don't get the indication that that's where they're going with this Siva. The Siva tech and what it does. I do think that weapon that they showed, clearly a Siva weapon, I think that's a raid weapon. I think only the weapons that we earn from the raid are going to be able to have that Siva effect.
So you think we're going to get a Soros branded raid weapon?
Gray?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would seem odd for them to take the Siva element and have it spread over a bunch of weapons and gear necessarily. I mean, it seems like when they've got a theme that strong, they usually limit the gear and weapons to the raid.
What do you think, Sharks? Okay, so hold on a second. Also, Gray, what do you think about this new take on the Cosmodrome?
I mean, I think it's awesome. I think that the space that they showed is it looks beautiful. The snow effects, watching it blow around, watching people's footsteps as they run through the snow. I was looking at all those little details. I really like particle effects in games, and that really stood out to me. It was a ton of work, I think, to reskin the whole Cosmodrome, and I was very impressed by it.
Sharks, what did you think about this new Cosmodrome? And then what do you think about a new subclass?
I like that there's change. I'd like to explore it more and explore the other parts of the Cosmodrome that they didn't show and really see how many changes are there. I think we are potentially going to see a lot more changes in the Plague Lands. The Cosmodrome tour was just kind of like a teaser to give us an idea that they have been working on stuff. The one thing I didn't like about it, and I may get crucified by all of you and anybody listening too, but I don't like their effect of wind and snow in the air or whatever you want to call it. I think it takes from the visuals. For instance, when you take a trip through the Cosmodrome Wall right now and go out to the beginning point of where we all started as Guardians, you can sit out there and there's some really neat visuals there. But the one thing that always takes from it is they have that wind with gunk flying by, and I just don't like it. And then when I saw it on stream, I thought, oh, it's just that again. I wish they would do something else as far as the snow in the air. But that's the only thing I didn't like about it. Everything else I thought was really cool. I'm looking forward to actually patrolling it myself. And I give a lot of props to Deej and everybody at Bungie for really not showing us anything. I was kind of worried. I love seeing stuff, but at the same time, I don't. I want to explore myself, and they gave us so little. It was pretty badass. What was the other question?
Third subclass, or another subclass rather.
Answer is nope. Ain't gonna happen. I don't see that happening until Destiny 2. I don't even want to see it happening. I don't think that there's any point for the very last part of Destiny 1 to add a new subclass. I think that they will put it in the next incarnation of the game. And there's only 14 gigs that we're downloading for this. I don't want 4 of them being a new subclass.
You know, you bring up a good point. I could see that I could see it taking up quite a bit more than that, actually, because there would be all these animations. But I mean, we're already seeing new. Yeah, you're right. I was agreeing with you about the weather effects while I was watching it, but then I thought about that probably the translation to stream, even at your best, highest quality, something like weather effects would probably look like crap. And so I'm going to hold out until I see what it actually looks like on my monitor, because sometimes weather effects are done poorly and sometimes they're done well. So
yeah, that's a good point. I hope you're right. I really do.
Agrios, I already asked you what you thought about the.
No. Well,
Agrios.
I have more to say anyway.
Agrios, what did you think about how they've changed the Cosmodrome?
I dig how they've changed the Cosmodrome. I liked the new look. I like the look of the Siva stuff. I maybe could have stood for the fallen enemies to maybe behave a little more differently. But I guess that's getting outside the look. But no, I liked the age over time. I liked the way it presented itself. As far as the new subclass and stuff goes, I'd like to see a new subclass because I like variety, but I think that the whole Siva thing is going to be more about an adaptation thing. And I think if we get to use that and make use of that for us, rather than being a new subclass, what if we just got nodes added to all 3 of our existing subclasses that somehow added a Siva twist to each of them?
That would be interesting.
And then additionally, going along that same adaptation note,
what if that Soros rifle was a regular Soros rifle to begin with, and you got a bit of Siva as like a raid reward or something, and you could apply it to your weapon of choice, almost like filling in a node, and then that weapon becomes Siva-fied. It turns black and gets red tentacles on it and crap or whatever.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool, and that would fall in line with what they did with the Necrochasm, basically.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like that same idea, and since Siva is already about like infecting / adapting and evolving things, like with the Fallen, if we could make use of that, harness that power, what if we could just alter our subclasses we already have to have new powers within our existing subclasses?
Yeah, that would be really excellent. I like that a lot. Jez, what did you think about the changes that they've made to the Cosmodrome, and what do you think about an additional subclass?
So the changes are all right. I mean, it's just a new place. We'll see what they put in it. That's more important to me than what the place is. Regarding a new subclass, no. New class type. If anything, the red is like a combination of all three. But we've also seen Siva weapons already.
Yeah,
there was
the
Omelon weapon with Siva all over it, and it's just normal weapon with Siva on it. It's just more of a skin than an effect.
Well, I mean, except for when you shoot it.
No, it shot out like a normal scout.
No, but this one didn't shoot out like a normal scout, and the other one didn't shoot out like a normal scout either. And the effect when the person got zapped was Siva-fied. I mean, am I wrong? Where we are at each other's heads. Agrios, do you remember whether that's the Amalon weapon shot out Siva juice?
I would have to go back and carefully analyze the footage. I really couldn't tell you offhand if it behaved that much differently than a normal one. Just speculating right now.
I have a question, because you guys keep talking about this. I obviously missed this part. If what you're saying is true, this goes against everything that Bungie has been doing as far as getting rid of burn guns in primaries. I don't see them bringing burn primaries back, and that's what you're saying they're doing.
Well, I mean, they also brought back Yellowhorn. They're bringing back Yellowhorn, like they are doing things.
Yeah, but that's just a rocket launcher. That's not a.
How dare you,
bringing
sir?
back vision of confluence or all these other burn primaries.
The weapon, what I suggested was separate from at least for my idea, it was separate from the idea that it's its own element. That's its own thing. Because I was saying there wasn't another subclass. What if it just infused all your subclasses with Siva power? So this is simply, a power upgrade. Kind of like the raid weapons right now have Will of Light, so they do more damage to taken enemies.
Think what he means is give an extra line to your current subclasses or something.
I'm looking at the video right now, and at 1 minute and 30 seconds into the Rise of Iron trailer, the person that the enemy that this scout rifle is being shot at is being Siva degenerated, like the enemies in this newer trailer are, or in the stream, from at the hands of that Suros. I don't see, however, I don't see any of the projectile itself, though. But the enemy is being Siva warped out. Although
could be a captain.
It's not impossible to think that all Siva-related bad guys have that kind of a phase out, a red phase out, no matter what you kill them with.
Well, we've also seen the captain have this exact teleport. Like, its teleport has the red streaks.
This is true.
And so something I'd like to point out they did step away from the general burns, as in that way when arc burn or when solar burn happens, it doesn't affect your primary. But in its place, in the raid weapons, instead of making the raid weapons have a burn like they did previously, or not a burn, but an element like they did previously, they still gave the raid weapons a burn, but a very specific burn that wasn't affected by those modifiers. They have the Will of Light, which does an additional 15% damage to Taken specifically. So that is a type of burn, although there's no modifier that affects it like it does the other burns. So, I mean, the SIVA could function very much the same sort of way. Like when you applied it to your weapon of choice, it gave you, 15% bonus damage against SIVA enemies.
Yeah. Okay, so I could definitely see that. Because Sharks is right, they moved away from burns on regular weapons, but you're right that there was a very specific burn for those raid weapons dropped.
I linked you a picture of that same scout rifle firing, and it has a purple bolt, but so doesn't Hung Jury.
Does it?
That's an Omelon thing, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, I
Omelon
see
has the color to their attack, but
yeah, but you would
do
agree
extra
that the projectiles from the Suros, those had a red thing to them, right? Or did I just imagine that? It's not impossible that I imagined that.
I was scrubbing through the trailer and I could not find him actually firing it, so I was like, God damn it! I gotta have to look again.
It looks like it definitely is. It definitely is red. Let me, because he takes out quite a bit of enemies with this thing, thanks to Deej going out of bounds but not being killed. I'm really glad that he squashed that right away, because one of the things that I really want is to explore as much as possible, and the idea of being able to go down there appeals to me so much. What I really want is to get lost somewhere. I really want to just pick a direction and not know where I am and have to find my way back.
It would be kind of amazing if they just slowly increase the boundaries without telling anyone.
That would be really interesting.
Hey Remy, I've got the stream actually playing Deej's gameplay. I'm actually having a really hard time seeing any red coming out of that gun. It looks like just projectiles.
No, I'm scrubbing through it as well, and I'm not seeing any.
I mean, yeah, this when they explode, they go SIVA, but that might be a splicer thing. Look for something with someone else shooting.
Yeah,
see if it does the same thing.
That's what I was just going to say. Look, wait until they go from Deej's point of view. Let me see if there was.
Okay, so some technical information while we're going through all this new stuff. I don't know if you pointed out one of the times I couldn't hear or not, but I figure we should mention here is that there's this new when you take out an enemy with a headshot, there appears to be a heat-seeking missile sort of effect that comes after you, not unlike the taking pop goblins.
I thought that was just a grenade because it happened when something didn't die too.
Oh, I was under the impression that it was from doing headshots on the splicer enemies.
Because he was standing around doing nothing one time and just started getting pelted by it.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Some other ones getting killed by other people and then just catching up to them, but I don't really know. We also spied a new light level.
Oh, yes.
Play 355. Now, they didn't comment on this. We don't know that this is the new cap or anything like that, but I mean, in other streams prior, they did perform using characters at the new cap.
I'm thinking that the red SIVA-ness is actually from headshots. And maybe it could also be spawning one of those grenades, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I would speculate as well.
Okay, so I just looked through footage of them walking through the wall, and Deej was following that Titan, and his projectiles were just regular projectiles. So there you have it. If there is an additional burn type element to it, it would probably be like what you guys were saying. It's specific to an enemy, which I think will be cool. I haven't saved any of the raid weapons that I've picked up, and I don't know why. I've coveted the crap out of the Vault of Glass weapons and also the Dark Below weapons. Like I don't know what my deal is with these other ones with the King's Fall weapons, but I haven't made any kind of attachment to them before the upgrade on infusing things. I was keeping them around because they were the highest light level weapons that I had, but I just hacked them. I just hacked them all down last night. None of them had a really good roll that I was interested in, and I just got rid of them. I mean, they look cool. I'm not saying they don't look cool. I just haven't grown attached to them. Not like I have some of the other things. Like I want to make it a point to have an auto rifle and a scout rifle from every period of Destiny, and so I've just held on to things like that. And that's actually how I go through and delete things, is I decide whether or not I can, well, the first rung on this ladder of craziness is whether or not I can ever get this piece again. And so anything that doesn't have a marker on it telling you from where it came from, what era it came from, means that it was vanilla. I can't ever get any of those things back again. And so right off the bat, those things just stay. But it's I don't know. I'm really proud of myself for hacking out a bunch of stuff. So we have like 10 minutes.
Remy, I want to bring this up because I just went through the video. You did see red coming out of one of the guns.
Did I?
It was, yeah, it's tracer fire.
Tracer fire?
Yeah, you get like if you get a real gun, like in the military, they will take like a machine gun, and every like fifth bullet or something like that will burn so that they can actually follow the bullets.
Phosphorus tips, and from the airflow from being fired out of the gun, the phosphorus heats up and glows.
Yeah, so I think that's what you're seeing, because it's not all the bullets, but some of the bullets on one of the views you could see tracer fire. So I bet you that's all it is.
Interesting. What if it was like every fifth shot was a special Siva shot?
Well, I mean, that's possible too, but yeah, whatever.
Okay, so we got like 10 minutes. We got less than 10 minutes. Who is I at? Was I at Jez? Was I at Crimson Warlock? I think it was at Crimson Warlock. Did I talk to you, Jez? Yeah. Okay, Crimson Warlock, what did you think of this, what they've done with the Cosmodrome, and what do you think about a new subclass?
Definitely not a new subclass. It's not time yet, and it wouldn't fit with the lore unless something big changes with Siva. The Cosmodrome I thought was cool, but I'm afraid that the particle effects might affect a lot of gameplay. I feel like I wasn't able to watch the stream very closely, but kind of seemed like after a while it'd just get annoying to always have particle effects flying around while you're trying to shoot things. But all in all, like I'm excited for new places to discover. I really want to know, like what Deej meant by solo moment. When they went into that area they weren't supposed to. He said that's a solo moment, so we're not going to go there. So I really want to know what maybe that means. He
said missions. That's a solo moment?
Yeah. So there's missions in the Taken King now that you have to solo. Like you can't invite fire team members to play with you. Like for example, getting the Sleeper Stimulant, the quest to climb the tower, that is a solo activity. You cannot have fire team members with you. So I wonder if there will be parts of the story that are solo as well, but you have to go on patrol to get into them.
Got it.
You mentioned a solo moments reminded me that the first mission is a solo mission that you can't get people on, and still you can like summon your sparrow.
You also have to remember that you have to forge a Gjallarhorn.
That's true. Okay. So, is there anything else anybody wanted to talk about before we go? Besides the 355 light we saw Deej's character have?
Well, yeah, has everybody gone out and bought their hunters? Because the Bungie store is selling their hunters.
I mean, we've seen light level when they did the PvP thing at E3, so yeah, it's always subject to change until it comes out.
Totally. So I mean, what do you think the chances are that there's going to be a higher light level now?
Well, it's going to be higher light level, but how much is
Oh,
the
okay.
thing?
Totally. I agree. Okay. So anybody else have anything else they want to say?
Yeah, the only thing that I want to bring up, they ended the stream by saying, Siva has to have a mind that's controlling it.
Uh-huh.
And we'll speculate, I'm sure, in the next few weeks, who's that mind? Is it some crazy fallen thing? Is it the war mind itself? What is it?
Charlemagne!
I said Fellwinter, not Charlemagne. Charlemagne's on Mars. Come on.
Interesting. All right. So I think that's it. Unless anybody else had anything else they want to say.
The only way
Well,
I'd be happy with
check out the movie of the week.
Wing is if whenever it crashes and explodes, Wolfpack rounds go everywhere.
Right. What'd you say about movie of the week?
Make sure you go out and check the movie of the week, and also the third runner up or the honorable mention. Absolutely awesome videos this week.
Excellent. Definitely check that out. All right. Shout outs starting with you, Gray.
Mine this week goes out to Punisher. We had some great trials runs this weekend, and he helped me get roped in with the Crucible Radio Slack group. And if you're into Crucible, you want to learn, you want to help other people out so that they get better at being able to run PvP, it's a good group to be a part of. They've got probably about 1,500 people that they're going on in their Slack, and they all seem to be pretty good people.
That's amazing. That's a pretty large group, and for that many to be helpful is awesome. Sharks.
My shout out goes to a Guardian 1 member, and that is Jaded. This week, he donated a PlayStation 4 to Guardian Radio's giveaway very selflessly, and he actually didn't even want credit for doing that. And when I tried to say he was awesome, he's like, no, I'm not awesome. So shout out to him.
It's gonna turn out he stole it, and you just totally outed him. Good one.
Cops are on his way now.
Agrios is not here or is muted. Agrios, are you here?
He's down.
We will come back to Agrios. Jez.
Shout out to Dado. He's been doing a series of videos on World of Warcraft raid bosses and translating them to Destiny. It's interesting. Watch them.
I don't even know if you can hear me. Everything's breaking up.
Oh, there you are.
Now.
There you are. Jez, I love those videos. I basically love everything Datto does. I love the way he thinks. I love the way he puts together videos. And these videos are really great. Like watching him break it down. And I mean, I think that if Bungie was going to pick somebody up out of the community to just start working on shit, it would be Datto. Like, he's put in so much time. But how do you pull a YouTuber who draws in so many views for you? How do you pull him out of the community like that? Because I doubt he'd be making videos like he does if he was full-time at Bungie. So excellent.
Also getting advancing shoes for his next one. Ha, that's a joke.
Agrios, shout out. No shout out from Agrios. It sounded really cool when he was coming back in. It sounded like Kabir.
He's on the verge. Or
Yeah.
not the verge.
There he is. Agrios, shout out.
Where is he? I hear him.
Tell them I lived. All right, he's
Where
gone.
in the vault are you?
Is he Praedyth? Trying to talk to
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Praedyth.
Exactly, he's Praedyth. That's what I meant.
But we're gonna find out he's dead. Spoilers.
Okay. Crimson Warlock.
My shout out this week goes out to Bex Rocks 07. I found out that this guy, I've been playing with him for about on and off for about 2 weeks now. He actually grew up like 5 minutes away from my house. I know who he is, and we just kind of got a reunion on Destiny. So Nate, it's been fun to play with you. You're awesome. Keep rocking.
Outstanding. My shout out goes to everyone in Guardian 1. I'm really very pleased with the people who have selected to join, and I'm really very thankful for all the help that I get from them for activities. And I totally understand how people would feel not having any friends and not be interested in trying to find a group to join to get some of these higher level activities done. Like my dad is the kind of guy who's not interested in necessarily doing like the raid. You know, he's never done a raid, and he's not really interested in looking for help to do these things. But I am interested in doing these things, and so having a group of people that are already interested in playing this game pretty heavily and also helping out, like I really appreciate everything that Guardian 1 has done for me, both in game and outside of the game. And I just really can't thank all of you enough. Thank you. Agrios' shout out is to our awesome chat room, and I agree with him. Our chat room is excellent, and all of you guys kick ass. So that wraps up episode 93. I would like to thank everyone listening for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or suggestions for topics to be discussed on the show, please leave them in the comments below or send them to feedback@guardian1.net, and we will see you next week.